Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for taking the time here. First of all, for a lot of people that haven't seen you since basketball season ended, I'm sure everybody's wondering how you're feeling, number one, and for people who don't know, you can tell them about the injury.
Yeah, so in the FCIAC championships for basketball over at Trumbull High School, we were playing St. Joe's, and right before halftime, I went up for a layup, and I came down, and I just came down completely inverted in my foot, and I just tore both sides of it. So since then, I've just been rehabbing. I went to a bunch of opinions, and I went through a bunch of opinions for doctors, and I just ended up taking just the PT route, and ever since then, I've been kind of working to get back and get healthy as soon as possible.
Where are you? And I remember talking to you because there was a lot of uncertainty whether you needed surgery or not. And how far along are you right now in the process?
Yeah, so actually, the first doctor I saw said it had to be surgery, but going after that, I wanted to be thorough and make sure that I was making the right decision. And right now I've been PTing, so it's been a little over 2 months now. I'm feeling a lot better right now. I think that it's been kind of frustrating because it feels like you're not getting anywhere, but I'm taking it slow and following doctor's orders. And this week I'm going to try and get back integrating into practice. So.
Okay, so that's great. So the hope is for all us girls lacrosse fans, we'll get to see you in a Ludlowe uniform and out on the field before the season's over.
Yep, that's the hope. That's the goal.
That's what we all want to see. Do you kind of feel after all this like you're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel there, and because the season's starting to wind down now? We have a couple of weeks left in the regular season, so is it kind of like just a ring that you just beyond your reach there?
Yeah, for me, it's like it's been a couple months, obviously, and it's just like you're waiting on new news or a new MRI or doctor to tell you what the next step is, and this is like the goal that I've been working towards. So to finally hear that I can start getting back out to the field in whatever quantity that is, like, it just feels really good because you're finally getting to the goal that you've been working towards.
Is this the first serious injury you've had?
Yeah, last year I did this, but on a more minor scale. So it was just I tore only one side of it. So that was that still took me a few months to recover from, but this is probably the worst of it.
Okay, let's try to go. You can, just for people who haven't followed you in basketball, what is the exact extent of the injury? I know it's what is the injury?
Yeah, I tore all the way through like the outside of my ankle. I basically fell on it inwards instead of rolling it out. I came in, so that tore the inside like deltoid ligaments as well. So it was both sides just
torn ligaments in the ankle is.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it wasn't a broken ankle. So.
Yeah, no, not broken.
Okay. How hard? Number one, I know a little bit what it's like rehabbing from a serious injury, and that's hard enough. How hard is it when you're trying to, you want to be playing the sport you love, you want to be out there with all your friends, you want to help your team, and then you're going just through this painful process, and a lot of days you finish your session and you sometimes feel worse than you did when you started it, and it gets frustrating, and it's a lot of times you take one step back to take 2 steps forward.
Yeah. For me, it's obviously been frustrating to not be out on the court to finish basketball season or to start off the season on the field. I'm trying to contribute in whatever ways I can right now, but going to PT, my coaches have shown that is the number one priority. Just making sure that I can recover, so I'll be good for next year, good for the end of the season, hopefully. And I'm just trying to be there for my teammates and my coaches in whatever ways I can there, but also focus on myself and really recover as much as possible to the fullest capacity, following doctor's orders, going to PT 3 times a week, making time for the things I need to make time for.
You have a new coach over at Ludlowe, so I guess the much rather have you on the field, but I guess she inherited another assistant coach probably. What sort of things have you been doing when you're around the team just to be part of it all?
Yeah, I mean, I love our new coach. She's great. She brings a lot of passion to the program that I think we need, and she's proven that she's here for the long term, which is another thing that I think Ludlow needs, the stability of just having a coach that implements what she wants to, what she wants to do, what she expects of us. It's been really helpful, and it's been a great start to our season. She expects a lot of us, and we just want to perform for her. When I'm out there, I'm trying to, give any tips I can when they're playing a game, whether it's at halftime or at timeouts, saying things that I see, because it's a different perspective. Obviously, on the sideline, you see things that you might not see when you're out on the field. Giving any tips to players at practice, or even simple things like giving advice, or shooting on goalie, anything that I can do to really step in and show maybe what the right thing to do is here, or what could be improved on in a game, out of the game, things we need to expect at practice, stuff like that. So I'm trying to contribute in whatever ways I can.
So if a game's going on and there's a trend of something happening that you notice, and we go up to the coach and just you have that comfort level where you could go up to her and just say however you would pass that information on to her.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Salsi, she's been super responsive to anything that I say. I really feel like I'm still part of a team. I feel like I'm a little bit on the coaching staff, and it's not that my opinions or ideas are less valued. Obviously, she's the head coach, and we have coaches under her. But to get that player perspective, she's been awesome with hearing what I have to say and making the change or not making the change. But regardless, I think that they've really taken me in. And Coach Ken back in basketball, she also did the same thing, where it's like, if I have something that I want to say, it doesn't get shot down. It's not shoved under the rug. They're really open to hearing other things. They're asking for anything that I see, and it's been really helpful, because I don't feel like I'm off the team because I'm not necessarily participating in the field.
Are you at practice every day if you're not going through PT?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a little challenging, just because it's like, you just, that competitive edge in you, you just want to be out on the field, or you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, how are they not doing this right now? It's just like little things that, any player deals with when they're not playing on the field. But practice is still fun. It's, at the end of the day, you're with all your best friends. So it's still enjoyable to be there, and it's a great environment there. But yeah, it's tough not being able to actually get the shots on or running around.
It's got to be hard too. I know you guys graduated two really strong classes. You guys were playing pretty competitively with the top teams in the league. You guys are having a good season, but you're having a little harder time against those top teams. Is it frustrating? Not being able to be out there when they really, really need you, and just when you're watching and wanting to be out there and help.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some games have not gone the way that we wanted to this season, and as being on the sideline, that just is tough to see, because you feel like you would have any sort of impact at all on the game, or feeling like any player that's on the sideline is like, wow, I just want to get in there. I'm sure I could do this, or I could help in this way. But yeah, we're working towards our goals right now. We're trying to figure out things internally on the team, whether it's with our offense, our defense, our draws. We just all have to come together and play. And I think that, it's still relatively new team, considering, we have a new coach, graduated 2 strong classes. We have a lot of young girls on our team that are starting, or maybe haven't ever played, before at the varsity level. And now they're a big part of our team. So it's really just implementing the small things at this point, and just working out the kinks and trying to, push our way through the season, stay competitive, and win those big games.
Have you targeted a date or a particular game that you hope to make your return, or is that still?
I think it's still up in the air. It depends on how this week's practice goes, whether or not I'm feeling comfortable making those moves with pressure on. Just gonna listen to my PT. I wanna get back as soon as possible, but listening to my PT, listening to my coaches, listening to my parents, the people around me that know better. I'm gonna take that advice into account, as hard as it is. But yeah, I'm trying to get back as soon as possible.
Yeah, you always want to come back faster than everybody else wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's let you. You sort of envision what it's going to be like getting back out there. You've been waiting so long. That might be something you don't really, I guess, until you actually experience it. Maybe it's a hard question to answer.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think that the feeling of being on that field, especially for Ludlowe, because I think that it's just such a fun time to be with all of, your best friends in school, or, it's in season and you have like the hype of the school coming and watching you, or, all your parents and your family and your friends are all there to cheer you on. And I think that that's a feeling that you don't necessarily get in, summer lacrosse or club lacrosse, where you're with a bunch of other girls and you're in other states and it's not as much, hype generated about it. I just think that high school sports are so much fun. So walking onto that field is going to be, it's always amazing, just because it's, that thrill of playing the game that you love, but it's going to be even better, after coming back and the anticipation building all year, and, being able to watch from the sideline, that you just want to get out there. So yeah, it's going to feel great.
And lacrosse has really gotten a lot better in Fairfield over the years too. You guys have become a lot more competitive over these years. I actually, ironically, I was actually out at Ludlowe today at about 6 o'clock. I walk the track there whenever I can, and there was a lacrosse game going on while I was out there. But Ludlow's really come a long way from being a team that was sort of middle of the pack to taking that next step up to where you guys actually played in a championship game a couple of years ago.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, coming in as an underclassman, it was just so much excitement built around it. And, those upperclassmen really embedded into us, how special it is to be part of this team. And I think that, I'm constantly giving lessons to younger girls that are texting me saying, I got to take the draw today, or I used the face dodge that you taught me last weekend and it worked really well. And I think that those young girls are the ones that are going to fuel Fairfield, like the ones that want it, the ones that put in the time outside, the ones that are just so excited to be out there. They're coming to the games. And, this weekend we played Ward, and we made it a Fairfield lacrosse day. So there was just like a ton of little girls and boys running around in their FYL uniforms. And I just think that that's like so special. That's the big part of, high school sports, that creates that, excitement. And I just think that it's awesome what Fairfield has been doing. I think they could do more. I think that we should get more turf fields in the town, and do as much as possible. But I mean, anything right now, it's come a long way, and it's been awesome to be part of.
What about the countdown now to graduation, and then a lot of the top athletes here are not necessarily going to like mid-Atlantic programs to play. They're going to the Midwest, and they're going out west, and you're headed out west to California.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, it's a little bit scary, we're going through the graduation, the proms, the, grad parties and everything like that. And it's just kind of all surreal because, when we were freshmen, we're looking at all the senior posts and it's just, you're envious of them. And now, now that we're here, we're all kind of like, oh my God, I don't want to leave, but I'm personally so excited. I mean, I'm very excited to be out there at Stanford. That team, the atmosphere, the location, everything. It's going to be tough to leave like my friends and family and, the school behind, but I'm excited for that next journey.
What led you to, because obviously you probably could have chosen just about any school in the country, I'm sure, everybody was after you. What made you decide to go out there? Some people don't want to go too far from home, and obviously, it's a beautiful area of the country, and the combination of Stanford education and athletics, that's kind of hard to say no to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my recruiting process was awesome. Every school that I went to or thought of was, just incredible to be in that situation where you're choosing between some of the top institutions in the country. Like, not many people get to have that opportunity. So I was very grateful to go through that and have, that the ability to do so and make my pick. But at the end of the day, I narrowed it down to, my schools that I was going to visit and take my official visits with. And, going out there, I didn't necessarily have a number one exactly, but I kind of had like that top three. And, just the visits made it completely different than what's in your mind. I had never been there before my official visit. And, the coach called me and she was just like, regardless of, what other schools you visit, I want to make sure that you're still going to come out and see it, give it a chance. And, when I did that, I was fortunate enough that the 22 class was actually there because their visit was canceled because of COVID. So they were doing it. So it was them and me. And, they were just so welcoming and, they seemed so excited to be there. And the coaching, the team, the atmosphere, everything about it paired with the academics, it was kind of a no-brainer. And it was tough to say. It would be tough to say no.
Was Stanford a school that necessarily wasn't real high on your list until you saw it?
No, it was definitely, it was always top three. My coach, she would sit her lawn chair down at center field of every single one of our summer games all summer. So she was super dedicated to the cause, and you hear such great things about it. And it was always something that it was always a school that drew my interest, and just being there kind of sealed the deal, and just making sure that was what I wanted. Paired with a lot of people are like, wow, that's so far, but my parents were super supportive of wherever you want to go, like that's your choice, and we'll visit wherever you are. You're going to be busy playing sports anyway. It's not like you're coming home to do laundry on a Saturday anyway. So it's like, make your pick of where you want to be, and everything else will fall into place.
Pac, the Pac-12, the level of lacrosse is just really on the rise. So you'll be part of that. I know, I don't know how many FCIAC players. I know one of your old teammates is over at USC, so you'll be playing against at least one. Is there anybody from the FCIAC at Stanford? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch. There's Kate Bellissimo from Darien, Sarah Jakes, Darien, Ashley Humphrey, Darien.
She just didn't she set an assist record there?
Yeah, she's killing it. And, that was a powerful redshirt freshman year last year. And I think that, she's going to do great things there for that program.
Okay, so you definitely won't get too homesick.
No, I'll have people to travel with. And there's a Greenwich girl in my class as well. She goes to Greenwich Academy. But, yeah, so.
There were all these, and I forgot, I'm too busy running around watching Chloe that I forgot that it's actually, I think she said like the most, I think it's the national record for assists in a season, or?
She blew it out of the water.
That's cool. Why don't we just, before we wrap up, what was basketball season, what was the season like for you, pre-hurt, and how tough was it not to get to play in the state championship game? And, you were out, and then, Madison was injured, and, I don't know if you would have won the game, but, the real Ludlowe team didn't get to play in that game.
Yeah, I try to look at the positive, because that season was filled with so many positives. There were so many things that came out of that season that we had never experienced before. The community, like the uprising, there were people there. My kindergarten recess monitor would show up to every game. She's like 80 and she's still coming to every game, and she'd walk across the court and give me a chocolate bar. It was just like, there's so many people that were there that you wouldn't expect. And it was just so awesome to see these people come together and root us on. And I think that the team had an incredible year. They worked their butts off in every capacity they could have. Our coach pushed us, and, start to finish, it was a championship season. And I think that regardless of the outcome of that final game, we really won. As a team, we really won. And I think that it was awesome to be a part of, the press conferences, the luncheons, the Board of Ed meetings. Like there were just so many additive things on top of, winning and being together every day that were just so awesome. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was truly an awesome season.
You guys, I know you guys, your junior year, you were disappointed the way everything ended, a couple of tough losses in the postseason, and I know you guys really dedicated yourselves to doing what you did in this whole season. Was there a part of you when you get hurt? I mean, to get hurt in the championship game of all times, is there any part of you that just feels like maybe I'm cursed or something? And then Madison gets hurt almost in the States, almost in the exact same place on the exact kind of the exact same court.
Yeah, no, it was tough. I mean, for me, when I did it, because it was that same foot that I had already done before, and it felt worse than last time, I just kind of knew, and that was just a defeating feeling for me because I'd already been through that process, and it was just like I felt great all season to just go out like that late in the season. With going into the start of lacrosse, it felt like everything was ending, and I kind of freaked out for a week of going to doctors, and it was draining, and my parents were there every step of the way. My coaches were there every step of the way. My teammates were there every step of the way. But yeah, it was really tough to, go out and just be so heartbroken that, for myself, I was hurt, but like also just not being able to go back out there and help my team. But they really rallied. I mean, like I've never seen some of those girls play the way they did in that second half of that FCIAC championship game. And, like Phoebe Showstack, Rory Cudsey, Caitlin Finney, and like these girls are putting everything on the line, everything. And it was just awesome to watch. And it was hard to not be out there, but it was really, really great to see that team come together in the ways that they did and, win it for each other.
Why don't we finish up with, and this answer could change in a week or two, but is the best memory, and you've accomplished so much individually and as part of teams, but is your best memory to date at Ludlowe a basketball or a lacrosse memory?
I would have to say that my senior season of basketball was so incredible. I mean, like there's very little that could match it. The intensity and the wins were amazing, but to see everything else come together, the people that cared so much and being able to play or not play on that team, every single part of it was just incredible. And I think that, lacrosse, I have so many great memories, but I also think something was special about, it being my last basketball season ever and, not being able to play that sport again. We all played it for each other, and we were just such a tight-knit team that I think that was kind of unmatched. But
Callie, people like you are why people like me cover high school sports. An incredible athlete, better person. It's been a lot of fun watching you, and if you give me a heads up, since I live so close, let me know when let me know when your first game back is at home, and if I'm here working, I'm gonna pop over and come see you. But congratulations, whatever happens here, and then congratulations on an incredible career. Best of luck. I know you're going to have 4 incredible and fun seasons at Stanford, and thanks for taking the time here to join me.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for everything over the years. Your coverage has been awesome.
I appreciate it.
Have a good night.